Okay, campers, it's that time. We have done all of the best hacking we can do, and unfortunately, there's always more to be done, but we have to be out of here by 3:30. So to give folks some time to show off what they've done or talk about what they've been working on and hope to finish later, it's demo time. So we're gonna give you as much time as you need, as long as it's less than like 3 minutes, to show off a thing you've been working on. If it works, great. Otherwise, tell us a little bit about it. Obviously, no one is required to do this, so if you don't want to talk about your thing, that's fine. Don't do it. Since I'm standing here, I will go first, but if we can get somebody on deck and we can keep this thing going, that would be great. For folks that are remote, if you want to demo and you can send a URL, we'll show that. But unfortunately, we don't think we're not going to be able to set up a remote projection today.
No, because then we'd have to really unpack it.
Let's see. My simple thing, I ended up doing a lot of research as my main thing that hopefully will become stuff on the wiki. But my simple, quick hack, which made me very happy, was I added a feature to the IndieWebRing, which actually removed a feature from the IndieWebRing. Every person who joins the IndieWebRing gets us a unique emoji-based ID that is totally random, based on their domain. Previously, you could get flags because they're in the set of emoji, and people were like, "Wait a minute, why do I have this random country associated with my domain name now?" So I took out the flags, and now whenever you get an emoji, it is guaranteed not to have any country flags in it.
So no more fun with flags?
No more fun with flags on randomly generated IndieWebRing IDs. That's it for me. Oh, I'm Marty. My website is Marty McGuire with a dot before the RE.
Yay.
Yeah, so who's next? Is it Aaron?
I can go next.
All right. And we need somebody on deck.
Who's up after me?
It should be okay.
All right, who's actually on deck since Greg is not yet on deck?
I'm on deck.
No one is standing here on deck.
What?
Can I sit on deck?
Yeah, I'm sitting on deck.
There is no sitting on deck.
I'm next to the
What
deck.
if the waves are really bad? Why would you use baseball reference? Person.
I'm deck adjacent.
Do you need to project?
I can just walk over.
Okay.
That's why I unplugged the screen. I need the.
Okay, you're ready to go. David is on deck.
Okay. Hi,
Hi.
I'm Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
My website is aaronpk.com. I had lofty goals after the badge/Pokemon session to develop part of the game. And we came up with a pretty good sketch of how it'll work, and I was ambitious and tried to do it. Instead, I launched this website, monster.space, which has pictures of robots. But this is the demo, this is how far I got, which is that when you go to the website, it lists the venues, and you can click on a venue, and then if you are actually at the venue, it will prompt you for finding your location from the browser, and I don't know why that's not working. It actually is working, it's just I already authorized it, so it's getting my location. Anyway, then it tries to find nearby monsters, and that's as far as I got. So I did a short version instead. And that was after some discussions last night at one of the after-party places. You know how Facebook has those posts with the colored backgrounds that are kind of annoying? I decided to do that on my website. And with any luck, this will work, because I haven't actually tested this live yet. But when I type a post, I just type a regular post, and then I add a tag, which is a hex color code. And if the tag matches 6 letters of like a CSS color, then when I post it, it will have a background color. And something went wrong.
Oh, yay!
Something went horribly wrong. So I will show you my backup demo instead, which is on my backup copy of my website, which is this. And it looks like that. And it has, it picks a close color, picks a nearby color to use as a second, and then it makes a gradient between them.
Different colors for different content types?
Nope. The color is based on the the hex characters that I type in. I know what I forgot to do.
No fixing.
No fixing. And it picks a nearby color, makes a gradient, CSS gradient, and also it picks white or black for the text color, depending on if the color is light or dark. And that is, oh yeah, and if you resize the browser to a phone size, it stays square, which is a lot harder than it sounds.
Yay!
Yay, square.
All right, next up,
Howdy.
David.
My name is David Shansky. If you haven't heard from me by now, then you haven't been paying attention. And I do the WordPress stuff, so I'll just continue to do that. And this thing has been mirroring all day, and now it stops. So.
There it is.
Well, no, that appears to be something else, but we'll worry about that later. I don't want to change my settings right now.
What is that sound?
That is the sound of somebody mentioning my username in.
It's because they, what did they say? That they know it and you haven't been around for this phrase?
You don't know me, but
I don't know what
you're
just
paying
happened. I think I might have hit a cable here somewhere. All right, there it is. So there, unfortunately, this is, I don't feel like changing from split screen. So I usually work in the WordPress classic editor, which is set for demolition in the near future. But this box here is my addition to it, which allows you to add some sort of context for various types of posts. So the problem has been trying to do photos. People keep trying to fill in information here, which I never thought they'd do. So I'm fixing that by adding this lovely button, which now summons the WordPress selector, which should be working properly. It looks like, there it is. Shows all of the things that you would in WordPress, and instead of inserting into the post, it does actually fill out these boxes with the URL. So now I can't possibly be in the position of messing up people's websites. I hope. I'm sure somebody will find a way to use that in a way I didn't intend, but for now, there's some cleaning up visually. So some of these boxes need to disappear, but one problem at a time. At least that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, that was awesome.
All right, who's next?
Who's decking?
Greg, you promised you were on deck, so
All right,
get up here.
All right. Well, I was trying to finish a third shirt and I couldn't.
You have done too many things. Tools down, everybody. Give your attention to these wonderful demos. No.
But if I give my full attention, who's going to document?
The note taker may
As
split their attention.
because Dave does so much for the WordPress community, I did want to say thank you, and a neat way, and he had so many great quips and sayings that we've said today have should have been IndieWeb t-shirts, and I was busy really helping other people build other websites. I didn't have much time. So in the last 20, 30 minutes, I threw this together really quickly. And this is what I'm demoing. It's my Indie t-shirt design factory. And it allows you to make t-shirt designs with text. I haven't figured out a way to color that because this is just one background image and not each t-shirt should be its own image. But I was just sitting down right now and so this is my thank you to Dave for doing all that he does for WordPress because I thought the JavaScript is like sugar, only good in small doses. Was a great quote, and he definitely had to have a Got Post kind shirt. And then shirt 3, I'm mixing up my, it's just not displaying yet because it was somewhere in my, I just got to mess with my top margin a little bit, and we'll make that 600. And this is a paraphrase for the third one. We'll make it 550. And there we go. So there, if you don't know me by now, you haven't been paying attention, is now a Dave shirt. Dave, I just want to say thank you for all the work you do for the WordPress community by building you a t-shirt designer.
Except for you, because I keep breaking your site.
My site was always broken.
Oh.
So you can't fix something, you didn't break something that was already broken. All right, and that's my demo. But really, and then I added my markup on the badges page on the wiki. I would love for people to look at that and tell me what they thought, like, how I did it, what was right. Like really, like I want to get the web mention badges working. So please give me feedback on the on how I wrote the HTML for that badge file as well. So that was me.
Yay! All right. I noticed no one is on deck. So is there anybody who hasn't given a demo who would like to? Going once.
Any new sites that you want to show?
Going twice.
I can show my wiki page.
Let's get up here.
You are you. You are you. Like you wouldn't see.
Right. Coming up, Tante. Oh yeah, you don't have HTML.
No.
Do you need to project?
I mean, I just need to show a wiki page. So someone.
I get it.
If you change that website, if you go back,
So yeah, when we click a else website, and now when we go like this, we should
What's the wiki page?
somewhere here.
It's
So now like some website going here.
undo.
and if we do go to the coffee shop, I'd love to record a microcast with you, show you those. It'd just be like 2 minutes. and
Okay.
ask like 3 questions. I have 2 microcasts, one called
There you go.
All right.
I don't know if that'll help you. It's not yours.
But I can scroll, right?
If you want,
Yeah,
yeah, no.
yeah.
You built this.
Look at that.
I'm gonna do that. This is what I did all day.
All right.
All right, my demo is, I took the results of our undo session that we held yesterday, which was like a lot of brainstorming and brain dumping, and I tried to assemble the thoughts into like a somewhat coherent form and sections and research and previous examples onto this brand new undo page, which did not exist until today. So
Did you
I like to
make sure that
document
you
things
waited
before I
30
write
seconds?
code. What's that?
Did you wait 30 seconds before saving the wiki page?
No.
No heckling during demos.
So one of the key aspects of what's like something that's actually undoing versus not is there should be no side effects. So if you did something and undid it from a user's perspective, nothing should be like visible to anyone else. It should be as if the thing you did never even happened at all. Like in the timeline, you just reverted and nothing happened. I think that was a key distinction because one of the questions I think Greg asked is, well, isn't that just delete? And the answer is no, because someone might have seen the post or an email might have gotten sent by like an RSS to email gateway, etc. So that was like the key sort of expanding on like, well, what really is undo and examples of things that can't be undone. What is not undo? Delete is not undo. That's an example. So some of these sections are stubs like any wiki page need to be expanded. I got a lot of inspiration from Gmail, so I documented like a summary of what Gmail allows, and if you don't have undo turned on in your Gmail, I highly recommend it. It might be my favorite Gmail feature like at all. Like undo send has both saved me many times and also made sending email a lot less stressful, because I know I can just hit send and like not stress about it, because I know that like in those seconds after you send an email is when you realize, oops, I shouldn't have sent it, or there's a typo that you see or whatever. So that's also kind of like the driving use case to drive it. The only existing protocol that has like an undo type thing is micropub, which has an undelete verb, and I don't know if anyone supports that or not, but I figured might as well mention it in case someone was digging for that. There's the session we did yesterday. I added some brainstorming about like how would you actually implement this in the posting UI. In general, try and mimic what Gmail did, 30-second delay before you actually do all the things that have side effects, like sending web mentions, posting your post to Twitter, posting a GitHub issue to GitHub, which might send an email to someone, to some mailing list that's then forever archived, for example. All examples of things you can't undo. And then the other area that came up, I think, I don't know if it was like Artur or did you bring this up about RSS? Sure, cool. I don't remember.
What about RSS?
That like someone might pull your feed right away, like if you publish.
Web mentions?
No. Anyway, the long story short, RSS feed readers are always like pulling feeds. So if you publish something to your feed immediately, it's possible that someone else's feed reader got it, cached it, and will never update it again. Again, something that you could work around there by like introducing a delay. So, and then the last thing before I ran out of time was documenting some of the UX flow, which I feel like is the next step, is to kind of document the different states and what happens when a user does undo versus post versus delete, and how to get between them. And then after that's documented, try coding it up. So
Right.
that's it.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Dimitri.
Yeah,
You have do you have HDMI on there?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I do.
You guys are
Excellent.
pretty cool, so I'm not too nervous. No, I feel bad that I subtracted.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It makes it really
Like, I didn't know anything about this site or like my profile or anything.
You want to come on through? I can see you on the screen. Okay, so something I'm kind of thinking is. There you go. We know this.
I have to figure this
Fairly.
I'm trying to get the school to pay for it, but I don't know if they will.
Are you going to demo?
Yeah, I'll demo after.
Okay. Awesome. You have HDMI?
It's a baby.
It's a website.
I
Oh, we
just,
can go
yeah, it's a
anywhere.
website.
Okay.
It's a domain now.
For some reason. Nice.
Yeah, I had that problem.
You can log on to the wiki. You can.
I don't know. I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah, there's still a lot I gotta do with this one.
There's
There's a lot I gotta learn.
a lot I can do with my blog, and I've had it for 14 years.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll probably be doing it.
It's something you can turn your screen around and show us.
Yeah, I suppose I could. Let me just do it
Make a big thing.
one more time, and
Yeah, it's not detecting.
it's like, yeah, just not
Sure.
telling that it's there at all.
It's HT.
Oh wait, something's happening this time.
www.
We see it.
From HT.
Yep.
Rooted
I'll just make this
nature.com.
Yeah.
a little smaller. All right.
Yes.
So
That is.
this is a quick demo. There's not gonna be a lot here, but I spent some time kind of giving an introduction to the Go programming language and kind of walked through the steps of like how does one even get started, how does one download it, and especially for somebody who's not a programmer, I feel like this could be a good first language to learn. So I wanted to walk through that process and also show how after you do something as simple as like printing hello world, you can then use the same principles to build something useful like an HTTP web server and maybe even like have a static website that you're then hosting. So what I'll do here is basically replay. I mean, a lot of the things that we did was in that room and other people were doing on their computers, but then I was typing some of the code here. So I'm just gonna like redo the history of what happened. And you can kind of like see, we started by having a more advanced server that was like doing some code, and we were trying to like see what it takes to extract a query value out of it, and like what are some common mistakes you can make, how you can then try to like use documentation or like search for answers on Google, etc., to solve your problems. And then it kind of simplified in the end to just be a very simple Go program. So it just prints that it's starting a web server, and then it's using the HTTP file server to serve everything that is inside this directory, which, as you can see right over here, is a very simple directory that just has an index and an image. And if I run this command again, I will be able to see that in my browser. So here we go. So if I just visit localhost 8080, there it is. And you can modify the contents of that folder. Let's say, make this side width equals 500. And there it is. Like without restarting the browser, you can see what has changed.
Nice.
So just a very simple starting point.
Cool.
That's all I got.
I'm gonna let the remote demos go first, because Martine's gonna demo, and I just send the hangout link, and I'm gonna eat through all this data while we're. Is that okay with you, Bob?
Come on.
We have a hard
Text him and
start.
tell him to hop in.
Move to the side.
Oh wait, he's not in there yet?
Well, I just sent him the link 2 seconds ago. I said I'll tell you when it's time.
He's in the channel.
Oh yeah. I know. I was just talking. Like he needs to accept the link to the chat, or he's gonna get told. That's weird. I'll work myself.
He's on his way. While that is happening, an update from Jack Jameson, who's been following along remotely. He has been working on his Yarns microsub server for WordPress, so it's a microsub backend, and he now has stuff working.
All right, you're ready. You can share your screen or talk and then share your screen. It's up to you.
I'll see if I can immediately share my screen.
I should make that my avatar. Don't you like
All right, let's see if this works. I'm Martijn. You might all remember me from the introductions. I'm also in chat a lot, and that should be my screen.
my computer's gonna start reading in a second.
In the back is WebMention Rocks test. I spent today writing a German worker that just sits in the background of the server, and whenever I want to send a web mention, it will do that, and everything else can keep running. So asynchronously sending web mentions.
Sorry.
I prepared
I muted my
a command
computer.
here that just tells German
I'm muted. I don't
to
know why it's
go
saying
from a HTML file to WebMention Rocks. I'm gonna hit enter. Now German should do their thing. And I hope WebMention Rocks updates. See. Apparently not.
It's set up in Gmail, so I don't pick up my phone.
So my demo failed.
Hang on.
But the thing is, it should have sent because it did work
Oh no.
for the first test. That's my guess.
There it is. Just took a second.
That's it. Otherwise, I just fixed my weight drop. Not very
Does
interesting.
Jack want to do a little bit?
Great, thank you, Martijn.
Mark, yay! Thanks for joining us. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, Jack would do it. Do
All
you?
right. Yeah, Jack can click the same link.
Great.
Is he still permanently banned from all
Your
your
Hangouts
usage?
doesn't do that. Like, whatever my phone, if I don't pick my phone, Hangouts automatically rings, and I can pick up from my phone, from my any computer, from anything.
All right, Jack is here.
Hopefully audio works better.
Come on, Jack.
Yeah, go for it, Jack.
Jack, you can start talking now. Oh, you don't sound crazy.
See you there. I think my audio should work, right?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you don't need to hold it that close.
Yeah, we can hear you. You don't need to hold it up to your
Okay.
mouth.
Yeah, just
No,
let it
don't
go.
hold on.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's better.
You know, I had my, yesterday was a bit of an audio disaster.
All right.
Let me just, I want to share my screen. There we go.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Here we go. So what I've been working on, is a backend interface for a Microsoft server. Previously, if you wanted to add any channels, you had to do so using a reader like Together, which is fine, but I wanted to have some options to do that now. So we have this very ugly interface, which I think you should be able to see.
Yep.
And if I want to add a feed, for example, I can subscribe to Aaron's site. I'll type in the URL,
This is awesome.
click search, displays a list of feeds. There's no preview yet, but I can click subscribe. And although there's no visual feedback that anything has happened, in the background it has, so if I reload in Monaco, I should have some posts from Aaron in here.
That is so cool.
And then the other thing that's nice is I have the ability to filter by post types. So I disabled check-ins before, but if I enable them, click update, and again reload, we can see a bunch of check-ins there. And that's it. That's it for me.
That is
Yeah. All right.
I can shut down, right?
Yeah. Last demo. Tira, do you want to come up and talk about your website?
Yes, you know, I think you might be the only one pronouncing my name correctly.
No.
How is it pronounced?
Tira.
Tira.
But I think everyone's been saying tiara, but I answer it because I know it's confusing.
All right. Here you are.
Another reason to put that pronunciation file in the feedback.
Oh wait, what did
Oh yeah, sorry.
What?
I'm still being
Oh,
Dave's
where-
order, actually.
No, my last.
All right. You go ahead and start introducing it, and I will find the cursor for you.
So, today I was working on my website for my business. Um, so it's going to be a natural products website, well, business, I guess. So I got some awesome help today that took forever. We originally were going to start with doing it through HTML, but then we decided to go with No, right? So we're doing it on No, and then I joined the Indie Web Ring.
Woo. Yeah, I think making your personal site before your business one. Have fun with this.
Yeah, it's exciting. So just a couple of things. Like I added, like there's gonna be an about page, a blog. I'll have a product page, social. I'm already integrating my Instagram, and then I'm gonna integrate YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
I have to figure out how to do that.
Instagrams.
Yeah, those are some of the oils I use, and I make blends, and I do a bunch of stuff. I make things. So yeah, this is like the beginning of my website. I have a lot to do for it, obviously. But yeah, so I learned a lot,
Cool.
and I'm excited to do more with it. So yeah, that's my website.
Yay!
I don't know how to get it off. Don't worry.
It's super. This is done. Great. So that is going to do it for IndieWebCamp New York City 2018. Give yourselves a hand. Good job, everyone. Thanks to Greg for making this thing happen.
You guys helped.
Sure, I helped. David, also, thanks for helping. Thanks so much to Pace. This is more for the live stream now. Thanks for hosting us here, Pace University. We really appreciate it. Are there some sponsors we need to thank?
Thank you to our sponsors, Data Intelligence Tech, and for sponsoring the Thursday night meetup, and Reclaim Hosting for the lunch on Friday, Mozilla for the breakfast on Thursday, and for the time, for Okta for your time, and for Southern Connecticut State University for letting me come as well. So those are all our sponsors. We are so excited. Huge shout out to Melanie, who has been an asset to this whole thing and did a great job. So thank you, everybody. We're already excited. The Pace University students want to start a homebrew website club here at Pace, and we're looking forward to doing this again sometime soon.
Right. This concludes our broadcast day. Everyone, take care of each other. I don't know. What do we say in the IndieWeb?
Be excellent.
All right, we got like 3 minutes to super pack up.
Yeah.
Just trying